President Donald Trump is ending his term in office with a historical low approval rating. According to a Gallup poll, his approval numbers have dropped to 34%. He's already had the weakest average rating of any president back to the 1940s when the survey began. Now, his final 2 weeks saw a significant drop in support amid the storming of the Capitol and his second impeachment. Well, Bloomberg's editor Michelle Jamrisko joins us now for more. She previously was in Washington, where she was a former White House and Congress reporter. Michelle, great to have you today. It's Trump's last full day as president. What do we actually know about how he will be spending his remaining hours?
Yeah, good morning, Francine. Certainly an unusual end to a presidency, to say the least. What we know from the official White House schedule for several days has stated that he will work from early in the morning until late in the evening and make many calls and many meetings. But what we do know from private reporting, of course, just removing the vagueness of his schedule, we have more confidence in what he won't be doing. There's a lot he'll be skipping first in terms of the usual ceremonial duties of an outgoing president. He won't be welcoming President-elect Joe Biden and his wife, Jill, to the White House, which is typical and customary the day before inauguration. He'll also be the first president since Andrew Johnson to skip the inauguration altogether. But what we do expect is that he'll issue a number of pardons on Tuesday, which is typical for outgoing presidents. Though our reporters have talked to people familiar with the matter who say that the White House counsel hasn't prepared preemptive pardons for Trump or his family, which had been a big question, of course, amid the second impeachment trial upcoming, as well as many court cases that he will be subject to upon his post-presidency. So we might expect that he could sign more executive orders, as he has in recent days, sometimes for trivial things like a statue garden for who he deems American heroes. But any of these things could be easily overturned once Biden enters office. So finally, on Wednesday morning, there's expected to be something of a celebratory send-off awaiting Trump at the Air Force Base just outside D.C., from where he'll take his last Air Force One ride to Florida and begin his post-presidency. So a lot awaiting him in the post-presidency, though I think safe to say that he won't go out quietly, even as he's losing the so-called bully pulpit as president, Francine.
Yes, and if we unpack some of the things that actually you were pointing to there. So we're not expecting him, the President Trump, to pardon him or those closest to him. Who could he pardon?
Well, any number of people. I mean, he's kind of had this somewhat odd and at odds with some of his other policies, this sort of policy of removing people who've had long-term drug crimes. He's kind of done favors to certain people who have petitioned for removal from sentences. So people I've seen Snoop Dogg, the rapper, has actually petitioned for certain people in his orbit. So there's always a number of requests of an outgoing president to commute sentences or to pardon, others who might be in legal trouble. So we'll just have to see, who Trump picks in that basket and how many that there might be. There could be, hundreds. There could be dozens. But we do believe at this point from reporting that it won't be himself.